Love this car, man. Hey guys, it's Sean, Autotopia LA. We're gonna go for a drive, man. This is one of my favorite cars that's ever been in this shop here. My younger brother's owned a lot of cool cars through the years. This one's one of my top 2 or 3 favorites that he's ever owned. That's right, this one right here. It's the 2006 Ford GT. Amazing car. Even when it's a bone stock car, it's an incredible one. This one, however, is far from bone stock. As we get into the episode, I'll walk you guys through some of the details, some of the changes that he's made on this car to turn it from a stock 525 horsepower car to this 810 horsepower at the rear wheels car. We've driven this car before in different episodes, but we've never actually done a full profile and really show what this car's about. So that's what we're doing today. Rumor has it that my brother's supposed to show up today, in which case we'll go from fairly mellow driving of the Ford GT to I'm sure he'll be more than glad to do some donuts and maybe some burnouts for us. So here we go, man. You guys ready for this? Let's do it. Before I get too into the specifics of this one, I'm going to give you a quick little history lesson. Ford in the 60s went on a mission to beat Ferrari at Le Mans. Ferrari was king, and Ford set out on a no expense spared, whatever it takes, we want to beat Ferrari. What was created was the GT40. Why is it called the GT40? Because from the ground to the top of the car was 40 inches. That's it. So Ford goes on a mission, right? They bring in guys like Shelby to help with designs, Dan Gurney, Carcraft. What did they do? They went out and won, and they did it over and over and over. And then that was the end of the GT40. It was done by 69. We never saw him again. And then in 2005, Ford released this car. It was never a car that was available to the public. The GT40s were all race cars. The 2005, 2006 Ford GT, there was a little over 3,000 of these cars produced, which for collectibles is actually a fairly high production number. But nonetheless, these are collectible cars, highly collectible. Depending on the color combo and the mileage and what have you, these cars become extremely collectible vehicles. The one I'm driving in currently is valued at around $300,000. The reason for its lack of value, we'll say, is that it's not an all-original car. The original car, the 0506, made right around 525 horsepower at the crank. This car's making around 800 at the wheels. So what's been done to this car? Moton suspension. It has a much bigger blower on it. These cars come, you know, what you have here is a 427 that's already supercharged. This car has a much larger supercharger on it. It has a full open exhaust. There are no cats on this car. It's a screamer. When you're standing on it, this car gets extraordinarily loud, and it is aggressive. It is very aggressive. Wasn't quite making enough power, so this car got a methanol injection kit. Like I said, this car is dynoing at around 800 horsepower at the wheels, and that's the basics on this. I love the history of the Ford GT that you know, an American car, man, went to Le Mans and crushed Ferrari that many years in a row. You know, I've driven a couple of Ford GTs. I've driven a stock all original, which is a wonderful car. I mean, they really are. They're so cool. You sit so low to the ground. It's simplistic. The dash is so simple. The only things you're looking at is actually what matters to you. I love that the placement of the speedometer is far off to the right here, where if I want to know how fast I'm going, it's a quick glance and I got a nice large speedo to look at. But what's dead nuts in front of my eyes is the tachometer. Just to the left of the tach is the engine temp. Just to the right of the tach is my oil pressure. The one I love to look at is right next to that. Third gauge over from the tach is the boost gauge. And it's always fun to, you know, especially when you're coming into positive boost on this car. This, I think, is an exceptionally well-balanced car that I can drive it this mellow, this relaxed. You know, it's not the most comfortable thing. I gotta admit, I don't know that I'd want to sit in this chair and drive, I don't know, to San Francisco or something like that. But I love that this car is so very drivable at any pace that you go at. Is it stiff? Yeah, it's a stiff car. It's set up for performance. That's what this car is intended on. And I'm in third gear at 3,500. Oh, tire just broke loose a little bit. That's another thing, is this thing does have enough power to break the wheels loose while you're rolling it with zero effort, to tell you the truth. You kind of have to wrestle this car a little bit. This car's not intended to be comfortable or cruiser or luxurious at any level at all. Listen to that thing. That's at $4,000, by the way. This car redlines at 6,500. And like I said, you got to manhandle it a little bit. That's not a super easy light shift. Oh, look at this up ahead. Do you guys see this? We have a red light, so we're going to have to launch from this light to get up to speed on the freeway. Oh, I wonder if we can get up to speed. What do you think? You feeling confident with me? Here we go. Launch mode. Alright, so I made it to 4,500 RPMs in second gear. And now I'm packed in with traffic. You guys hear me say this from time to time. I feel like one of the luckiest guys on the planet that I get the opportunity to drive some of the vehicles I get to drive. You can never describe this as anything but exotic, but it's also an American muscle car. You got a 427 sitting behind my head right now with a big blower on top of it and a wide open exhaust. Check out some acceleration. I was just getting about 18, 19 pounds of boost on this sucker. It's a really aggressive, violent acceleration. There's nothing about this car that I would consider to be gentle or soft or elegant. This is a hard accelerating car. That's what this car is. That's what it was designed to do. All right, you guys, well, I'm gonna head it back to the shop here. So that's it for our quick little drive in the Ford GT. You drive, dude. I want to go out front. I want to video this. Are you kidding me? This is...
Let's go do some fucking donuts.
All right, you guys, well, that is the 2006 Ford GT. What a great car, right? Like I said earlier, man, the The stock one at 525 horsepower is an exceptional car. It's one of the great American cars ever made. This one is just flat out a little better. It's got more power, better handling, and I love that my brother showed up today to put on a show for us. How cool was that, right? I won't do donuts, I won't do burnouts in his car or any other client car, but it sure was fun to watch him do it. Hope you had a great time with us, man. So as always, I gotta say thanks a lot for hanging, supporting the channel. Keep spreading the word. We're really working on being one of the big car channels. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. If you like what we're doing, hit the like button, man. Let us know. And I love getting the comments and the feedback. It's great for us. It helps give us direction as to what we're doing next and where we're headed with the channel. So please keep the comments coming. Thanks a lot for hanging, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. All right, later.